Hi students, welcome to Alphos e-learning chemistry classes for second year. The running chapter is organic chemistry and now we are in session number 51. In previous session we discussed about the preparation of carbonyl compounds, that is aldehydes and ketones, from alkenes and thereafter from alkynes by Kucherov's reaction, and then we discussed something about the preparation or the conversion of alcohols into carbonyl compounds. In such a course, the different oxidizing agents which are useful in the conversion and where they can be best used, that is in which type of alcohols a particular oxidizing agent is helpful. All these we discussed in previous session, and here I am going to give a recap of all these things, that is nothing but a recall, briefing of previous session, and thereafter we will continue for further conversions or further preparations of the carbonyl compounds. Clear? And here first let me give the types of alcohols what we can expect which can be converted into carbonyl compounds. They are nothing but, first one, 1 degree alcohols, that is nothing but primary alcohols. Best example is CH3CH2OH. And next one is secondary alcohols, and the best example for secondary alcohol is isopropyl alcohol. This is secondary alcohol. And third one is tertiary alcohol, and tertiary alcohol is, the best example is tertiary butyl alcohol. And just you remember, my dear students, these are the best quoted examples, and in any case when alcohol is given to convert into carbonyl compounds, just you have to consider, you have to find whether that OH group is present on the primary carbon, or it is present on the secondary carbon, or it is present on tertiary carbon. There enough, you will get the primary, secondary, tertiary condition. And next one is nothing but benzylic, that is benzyl alcohol, benzylic alcohol. Here it is benzene with side chain 1 carbon and OH, and then it is allylic alcohol. Allylic alcohol where this OH is present on sp3 carbon, which in turn is connected with sp2 carbon. The OH is present on sp3 carbon, but that is in contact with sp2 carbon. These are different types of alcohols where we can expect the conversion into carbonyl compounds. Is it not? And now here the oxidizing agents. Actually what we are using for the conversion of alcohol into carbonyl compound is mild oxidizing agents. Just you remember, why only mild oxidizing agent? Why not strong oxidizing agent? It is because in case if we are using strong oxidizing agent, then that alcohols will be oxidized first to carbonyl compounds, and then further oxidation will also takes place, where the ultimate result will be the carboxylic acid, not the carbonyl compound. That is the reason why we are using moderate or mild oxidizing agent. And the best examples here are nothing but KMnO4 alkaline, not heating. Just you remember, KMnO4 alkaline KMnO4 at high temperature, or alkaline KMnO4 in acid medium. In both these two conditions, that will behave like strong oxidizing agent. That's why we should not use any temperature, or we should not consider acidic medium. Here only alkaline KMnO4. And next one is Collins reagent, and Collins reagent is nothing but CrO3 plus 2 moles of pyridine in presence of methylene chloride CH2Cl. This is known as Collins reagent. And then third one, PCC. PCC is nothing but pyridium chlorochromate. Pyridium chlorochromate. Pyridium already you know, this is nothing but like this benzene like structure with one of the carbon replaced by NH, and this is now with plus CrO3 plus and Cl minus. This is pyridium chrome, that is chlorochromate. And then fourth one is copper metal at 573 Kelvin. These are the useful oxidizing agents in the conversion of alcohols into carbonyl compounds. And just here you remember, it is forever we can observe these primary alcohols on treating with these mild oxidize or more moderate oxidizing agents always give aldehydes. That is nothing but like this. That means primary alcohols give aldehydes. And then secondary alcohols always give ketones. Just you remember, they are able to give ketones. So that means when the secondary alcohols are treated with a moderate oxidizing agent, they are giving ketones. And tertiary alcohols, they are not interested to go for oxidation in general. That means they are not interested to involve in oxidation process because they are saturated and it is of having bulkiness. But under normal condition they do not involve. But under abnormal condition, that is nothing but aggressive conditions. In abnormal condition or aggressive conditions, this can also involve in oxidation. But in that oxidation, we have to use KMnO4 at high temperature, KMnO4 in basic medium at high temperature, or KMnO4 in acid medium. If we are using, then these tertiary alcohols will undergo oxidation, where we can expect the mixture formation of acid and ketone. Here only ketones are not forming. In this reaction, that is when tertiary alcohols are treated with some drastic conditions, there we can expect the formation of ketone along with acids. That means the mixture of ketone and acid will form in this treatment. And then benzylic and allylic alcohols, these two are reduced, they are oxidized to corresponding aldehydes, because both these two are seem to be appearing as primary alcohols. These primary alcohols are converted to the respective aldehydes, and here the best oxidizing agent for this purpose is nothing but Collins reagent. Collins reagent is useful in converting the primary benzylic and allylic alcohols into corresponding aldehydes. That is the best useful. Why? Because in allylic or in benzylic, some other parts are also having the tendency to participate in oxidation. But when we are using the Collins reagent, without disturbing, without oxidizing the other part, it can attack only on alcoholic group. The carbon where OH group is present, on that one it will oxidize, and it will be of oxidizing them as aldehydes. And then PCC. PCC is the best useful for the conversion of primary alcohols into aldehydes. PCC, pyridium chlorochromate, is best useful in the conversion or in the preparation of aldehydes from primary alcohols. Clear? And next one is copper at high temperature. And just before going to that, you remember, in all these cases, when alcohols are oxidized to carbonyl groups, what is happening? What is the phenomena involved in that one? Let us see. It is nothing but when this alcohol, say for example, it is converted to this aldehyde. What is happening? This one, CH2 and OH. Here, this OH bond will get cleaved, that is, this hydrogen will go out, and this carbon hydrogen bond also getting cleaved, that is, both oxygen hydrogen bond and carbon hydrogen bond are dissociated, or they are broken, and thereby it is now converted to C double bond OH, that is nothing but aldehyde. In a similar manner, if it is other than H, if it is alkyl, it is converting to ketone. Altogether, we can say that here from alcohols, because of elimination of hydrogen, they are converted to carbonyl compounds. Just you can observe that elimination of hydrogen, where this hydrogen is generated, what is the bond involved in that release of hydrogen? Simply, it is nothing but OH bond cleavage and CH bond cleavage. These two will eliminate one hydrogen molecule, and thereby all these oxidations are also known as dehydrogenation reactions. Just you remember, all these are dehydrogenation reactions. So here the oxidation is because of removing hydrogen. Clear? That is happening. And now let us see what is happening when primary, secondary and tertiary alcohols are passed through overheated copper metal, that is at 573 Kelvin. When these alcohols are passed through copper metal, they are converted to carbonyl compounds. And what are the carbonyl compounds that we can expect from this type of oxidation? Primary alcohols, when they are passed through this copper metal at 573 Kelvin, dehydrogenation takes place. So because of the dehydrogenation, D means elimination, hydrogen elimination leads to formation of carbonyl compound. That is, primary alcohol tend to give aldehydes. And now let us go for secondary alcohols. In these secondary alcohols, if it is, the best example for secondary alcohol is isopropyl alcohol. When it is passed through over copper metal at 573 Kelvin, here also dehydrogenation takes place. Dehydrogenation, and here this hydrogen and this hydrogen are going out, and ultimate result is nothing but CH3, C double bond O, CH3. That is nothing but ketone is the product in oxidation of secondary alcohols by passing through copper metal. Clear? And now coming to tertiary alcohol, just you observe what is happening in case of tertiary alcohols. In case of tertiary alcohols, instead of undergoing dehydrogenation, this tertiary alcohol tend to go for dehydration when passed through heated copper. Just you observe the difference. Here it is not dehydrogenation, it is dehydration. Dehydration means elimination of water, not H2. And that leads to, when this hydrogen and this OH is going out, the remaining part is nothing but CH2 double bond CH3 CH3. That is nothing but alkene is formed from tertiary alcohol but not carbonyl compound. You have to remember that one. When it is of tend to go for elimination reactions, it may be dehydrogenation. Dehydrogenation is forming carbonyl compounds. Primary alcohols in dehydrogenation give aldehydes, and whereas secondary alcohols in dehydrogenation gives ketone. But tertiary alcohols, they are not going for dehydrogenation. Instead of that, when they pass it through copper metal, they are undergoing dehydration. That is, they eliminate water, forming alkene. Clear? That is about the oxidation process for preparation of the carbonyl compounds. Till this, that is nothing but from alkenes, and then from alkynes, and then from alcohols, we are of using the oxidation process to convert them into carbonyl compounds. Clear? And now the preparation of carbonyl compounds from it is from acid chlorides. Now let us discuss about this. And as we know, acid chlorides are more oxidized than carbonyl compounds. Acid chlorides are nothing but RCOCl. This is acid chloride, and they are more oxidized than carbonyl compounds. And then when we convert this acid chloride to this carbonyl compound, the chemical process that should be adopted, that means the chemical process that we have to implement is nothing but reduction process. Unlike that of the previous cases, here it is reduction. In case of alkenes, alkynes and alcohols, just you remember, forever you remember, because it is of giving the way to think. It is giving the logical approach to guess the products. When it is from alkenes and alkynes or alcohols, all these are reduced forms when compared to carbonyl compounds. And thereby, from those compounds, if we are preparing the carbonyl compounds, we have to make them to go for further oxidation. So there we are employing, or we are using oxidation process by using different oxidizing agents. But here, unlike that of those things, here the substrate which is used, which is of used for the preparation of the carbonyl compound, is more oxidized form compared to this carbonyl compound. And when it is more oxidized, previously it is less oxidized, we are making oxidation, and now it is more oxidized, then what to do? We have to reduce them. That's why we have to use the reduction. Here, when for this case, we can use this RCOCl, that is acid chlorides. We can reduce them by Lindlar's catalyst. Lindlar's catalyst. I think you know, you are having this catalyst in your junior reader. Anyhow, let me give. It is hydrogen in presence of palladium and barium sulfate, or in hydrogen in presence of palladium and CaCO3 quinoline. This is Lindlar's catalyst. Okay, when we are using this Lindlar's catalyst for the reduction process, we are getting only aldehydes. Only aldehydes are obtained in this reduction process. Such process is known as Rosenmund's reduction reaction. It is Rosenmund's reduction reaction. That is acid chlorides or acid halides when reduced with Lindlar's catalyst. Lindlar's catalyst is nothing but hydrogen in presence of palladium. Here you observe this quinoline or BaSO4 and CaCO3. This is of use as the catalytic poison. Just you observe, catalytic poison. That means it is of making this palladium catalyst activity to reduce. It decreasing the catalytic activity of palladium. If not, what happens? In presence, if it is of at its highest catalytic activity, then it can make these acids to come into aldehydes or ketones, whatever it may be, carbonyl compounds, and further reduction will also take place. And when further reduction is taking place, that carbonyl compounds will come to alcohols. So if it is not controlled reduction, here controlling reduction is happened only when the catalytic activity of the palladium is decreased. If it is not decreased, then automatically the reduction of these acid chlorides ultimately leads to the formation of the alcohols. Just you remember. So to restrict the reduction only at carbonyl compounds, we are using a controlled reduction. Here barium sulfate or calcium carbonate, they are behaving as the catalytic poison to reduce the catalytic activity of the palladium, which results up to aldehydes only. And this reduction of acid chlorides into aldehydes with Lindlar's catalyst is known as Rosenmund's reduction. And next, we can also reduce these acid chlorides by using cadmium alkyl, dialkyl cadmium. It is dialkyl cadmium. Dialkyl cadmium, how it can be prepared? Just it is nothing but CdCl2 when treated with RMgX. We can get this R2C and MgXCl. In this manner we are preparing that. And one more reagent which can be used here is nothing but Gilman's reagent. Just you remember, Gilman's reagent is nothing but, it is also R2CuLi, that is dialkyl cupric lithium dialkyl cuprate. These two can be used as reducing agents for these acid chlorides. Just you remember, when these acid chlorides are reduced by dialkyl cadmium or reduced by Gilman's reagent, in these two cases this alkyl group is introduced in place of chlorine, and the result is nothing but RCOR. This is the ultimate result. That means when this acid chloride is reduced with dialkyl cadmium or Gilman's reagent, the products formed are nothing but ketones, not aldehydes. In this case, when the same acid chlorides are treated with dialkyl cadmium or Gilman's reagent, we are having the ketones as the main products. There is no formation of aldehyde. So to form aldehyde, we have to use Lindlar's catalyst. Lindlar's catalyst is nothing but H2 in presence of palladium and barium sulfate or calcium sulfate and calcium chloride, carbonate and quinoline. So these are the reactions from acid chlorides in the conversion of carbonyl compounds. Clear? And thereafter, after this conversion, just you remember whatever the alkyl group present here, it may be cyclic alkyl group, it may be normal aliphatic alkyl group, whatever it may be. If it is acid chloride, one of the alkyl group from this cadmium, dialkyl cadmium, will introduce into ketone. That means just you have to remember that in ketone formation from the acid chlorides, one of the alkyl group is always from either from cadmium, dialkyl cadmium, or from Gilman's reagent. Clear? And thereafter, in the coming session, we are going to convert these alkyl nitriles, that is nothing but cyanides or esters, into carbonyl compounds. They are also alkyl cyanides or nitriles and esters. These are also acid derivatives, as you know, and when they are acid derivatives, they are also more oxidized when compared to carbonyl compounds. So in those cases, that is nothing but acid, that is alkyl nitriles and esters. What are the reducing agents we have to employ so as to get the carbonyl compounds, and depending on the reducing agent, what are the products, how to expect that in a logical approach, all these we will discuss in the next class. Okay, thank you.